Welcome. It's fun in the kitchen with Cheryl time. Today as promised, I wanted to show you how to make a wonderful squash or pumpkin-based brownie. This is a very fudgy brownie, and if you don't have cooked squash or cooked pumpkin, you can also use cooked sweet potato. It'll be a little bit denser with cooked sweet potato. But here we are, all of our ingredients ready to go. This is a vegan recipe. No one will ever know, but if you do have any plant-based eaters coming for your holiday gatherings, you are ready to go. So the first thing we're going to do is put in our pureed pumpkin. This is just over 1 cup. So as close to 1 cup as you have. You don't have to be terribly precise in this recipe because it is a very fudgy style brownie. It's very forgiving, this recipe. So the pumpkin goes in first. Then I'm going to add in kind of a secret ingredient. This is 1 teaspoon of vanilla, which you're not going to be too surprised to hear about. But then it's 1 teaspoon of balsamic vinegar. This is really going to give a little depth to the flavor of our brownies, kind of surprising. This is a 1/4 cup of pure maple syrup. This is really the only, if you can call it refined, sweetener going in, besides a 1/3 cup of coconut sugar. So coconut sugar and maple syrup are good sweeteners to use if you're looking to satisfy the vegans in your crowd. So I'm just going to give that a quick stir. I've got my mixer ready to go, but I might not need it today. This is coming together, as you can see, quite easily. Because this is a vegan recipe, there's no eggs. You might start expecting to add a lot of eggs at this point in a brownie recipe. But that's all of our sweeteners, and this is this wonderful nutrition dense pumpkin. As I said, you can use squash or sweet potato. That's going to add that fudginess, that denseness. The next thing to go in is our cocoa. This is 1/4 cup of baking cocoa. I use organic whenever I can find it. I'm also going to now add in our flour. Now you can use 1 cup of spelt flour if you want to make this gluten-free as well, so you get all your dietaries kind of taken care of. I'm using a whole grain flour because I don't have any gluten-free guests coming this time, but I often do. And in addition to that, there's 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and 1/2 teaspoon of sea salt in my leavening agents. And again, I'm going to give this a little stir. I had my mixer all ready to go for y'all today, but this is coming together really, really easily. That pumpkin just provides this beautiful moistening. I also have a tiny bit of plant-based milk. This is a coconut beverage. You can use, because coconut I find works really well with chocolate flavors, but you can also use an almond or an oat. You could use regular milk as well. And I just want to show you this mixture. You can see how it's starting to come together really well, but now it seems a tiny bit dry. I want to be aware that the pumpkin's going to add a lot of moisture, but I might decide to add a little bit of this milk at this point. I'm going to be really, really careful with this. I would say that's 2 tablespoons. You're going to have to see, depending on whether you use whole grain flour or spelt flour, it's going to have a little bit of a different texture. We don't want to over mix it. When you over mix your brownie mixture, you tend to get the gluten activated in the flour. And I am using a flour with gluten in it. And I don't want my brownies to be tough. I want them to be very fudgy. I just want to go lightly. See how I'm really scraping the sides of the bowl? And if I were using the mixer, I'd stay on a low speed till all of the cocoa is in there, all of the baking soda and baking powder have been well distributed. The last little thing to go in at this point is some chocolate chips. If you're working with vegan, you definitely don't want to use your milk chocolate chips. If there's no vegans in your table, then don't worry about it. These are dark chocolate chips that do not have any dairy ingredients in them. Give that a little stir to incorporate the chips. I've taken an 8x8 baking pan here, and this is all ready to go. I've taken some coconut oil to oil the pan. You just have to really do the bottom so that the brownies come out easily. These are a very fudgy brownie, so they're going to be a bit gooey and sticky. So here we go. Let's get the brownie batter into the pan. You can see how fast that came together. So you can get this ready for your guests or just for let's face it, a bedtime treat just for you in about 10 minutes. It's really fast. Super nutritious. You can see there's no additional fat added to this brownie other than the little bit that would be in the cocoa or the chocolate chips. But this is fudgy and satisfying and yummy. If you use a whole grain flour like spelt or like the whole wheat flour, then you're also getting the protein and the fiber from that. Now to make this festive, because it's kind of a festive time of year around here, I'm going to take some crushed candy canes. Most crushed candy canes are qualifying as a vegan-friendly ingredient, but you might want to just check with your local provider. I'm just going to take the candy canes, and look how pretty that is, just to kind of dust a little candy cane on top of the chocolate brownie. There we go. It doesn't take a lot. And this is going to go into a 350-degree oven for about 20 minutes. You'll be able to tell the brownies will look firm. They won't look wet on the top anymore. And when you insert a Q-tip or something like that, it comes out without any wet stuff clinging to it. So I'll show you what they look like when they come out. So the brownies took a little bit longer than I originally suggested. I said 20 minutes, they went closer to 27 minutes. I guess it all depends on how my old oven's feeling that day. But they are perfect. You should smell this house. You can smell the chocolate, the rich of the chocolate. So here we are. To pull the brownies out. Moving very carefully. But look at that. Isn't that beautiful? I can't wait to share these with my family. So here they are, fresh out of the oven. I let them cool for about 20 minutes. Moment of truth. Remember, it's a secret what's in here. They're not really vegan. They're not really have squash or pumpkin in them. They're so fudgy. And that little bit of candy cane makes them so festive. I hope you enjoy making these. If you like these videos, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and comment. Let us know what else you'd like to see us make. Talk soon.